Hey, it's your girl KV back with another review for Love and Marriage Huntsville. I watched the episode rewatched the episode right before this, and so I always play it while I'm doing it so I can see it in the background. So it reminded me that I didn't mention on the last review. Meet the Marshall. Why is Marcel like that? Meet the Marshall. That man is a clown. I think I need to shut that hallway door. Anywho, we're gonna go ahead and get started. We'll see if she gets too rowdy. I will shut that door, the hallway door, so you can't see her screaming. Martell and Chris Fletcher meet up. They're going to the investment property, and I'm like, oh, okay, is this the house that we always see? He's been trying so hard to sell his house. I think this is the house that we always see. Remember when he was working with, was the homeboy Fred? And I feel like this was like the first scene we really saw where they was out in the front of the house. And he asked Chris to be the realtor for the house because Chris brings that up later. So they're at the investment property. He says that he has to do some measurements for furniture. Chris asks him, oh, are you staging it? You about to sell it? And he's like, no, I'm about to move Ariana and the kids in. He's like, Chris confused. You hear me? And so he's like, yeah, they gonna move in, but I'm not moving in with them. We gotta be married for that. Chris real confused. At this point, he was like, what? Like, for when y'all already got a kid. It's been like 10 years. 3 pregnancies, 1 kid. Something along those lines. And he's just like, oh, you've been around Ken too long. You've been around Ken too long. You about to be a good guy number 2, huh? And then this is where he mentions, you know, this property got history, okay? He did this property and he originally gave it to Chris to sell. Then he took it from Chris and gave it to somebody else who ended up not selling it. Something happened with that. He took it off the market and he's just had it. So now he's about to move Ariana and the kids in. Chris just like, I guess. Okay. They talk about the guys meet up. Fletcher said, y'all sound like some big bitches. I said, not the bitches. Not the bitches. He says, they talk about how they was arguing, how it always gets so heated with Marcel and Martell, yada. Then Chris says, hey, Martell, if you take Marcel out of the equation, you're a stand-up guy. You're such a great guy. You're a good guy. I said, if we take Marcel out the equation, we can take Marcel out the equation and Martell still stands up as a terrible guy. Are we forgetting what he did to his wife? I said, how much dirt he got on you, Fletch? Because what are you even talking about right now? You volunteered that lie? He told you on text before you got there, you better big up me or I'm going to do what to Marcel, what I'm going to do to you, what I do to Marcel. Play if you want to. Because what was that? Outside of, you know, take Marcel out the picture, you're a stand-up guy, okay? And then Martell is basically just like, listen, he always coming for me. He would come for me and my ex-wife. Now he coming for me and my girl. I ain't got time for it. He need to chill out. I said, okay. Next we see Ken. Ken has Will over to the house. I like Will. Will is so sensible. He's just so sensible. He ain't really here for the mess. I like Will. They over at the house and he tells him about the podcast incident where apparently Ken, I said, how meathead of you. He has a podcast and one segment of the podcast, him and his guys are just pumping weight in the gym. So they've got the camera like, not even like propped up somewhere. It just looked like they just had it just, the camera just, a phone just sitting up while they doing it. And I was like, this must be a side angle. This can't be the actual podcast recording, huh? But it shows Trish walking through the frame and she's leaving. And she don't really say nothing. She just kind of speed walks out the room. He's like, I know you ain't going nowhere without giving me a kiss. I know you ain't going to give me a kiss. Now, I forgot to put this in my notes, so I probably need to say it here so I don't forget. When we see Trisha later on, she mentions that she was speed racing out the room because she had already texted him that she had forgot to pick up the daughter Zaria. I forgot to pick up Zaria. I was in there cooking, doing this, that, and the third. I look up and I'm late to go pick her up. So I got a race to go get her. You acting like I'm just being mean, ignoring you, da-da-da. It ain't even all that. It's Trisha's story. But he just feels like you played me in front of my friends. You played me in front of my friends and my podcast. You played me like, girl, I'm in here pumping weight and you still gonna come in here and bitchicize me? From Ken's POV, I would be annoyed too. I cannot stand not being acknowledged. It burns me to my core. I will tell my husband about himself if he comes in the house on the phone and stays on the phone when he gets in the house. Am I a ghost? Do you not see me? Oh, I'm on the phone with my mama. Hold on, Mom. Hi, wife. How are you? Don't play with me. And then we both get on the phone with your mama. Like, it takes 5 seconds to hug somebody, okay? So, I'm kind of with Ken on his POV of him not knowing that she was rushing out the door to go pick up the daughter, okay? I can see it from that point of view. But also with Trisha, boy, I text you that I gotta go rush and get this girl. But clearly his phone was propped up in the corner. His phone was propped up in the corner for this footage of meatheads pumping iron. He didn't see your text. How? Do y'all watch a niggas pump iron on the podcast? What is happening? I guess if you into fitness and you see a dude like Ken and you like, I need that. How he get that? What's your form? So I guess you would watch a bunch of meatheads pumping iron. I wonder was Will in there? Was Will in there doing the podcast with them? Anyway. He says that he tried to have a conversation with her the other day, but Trisha, you know how Trisha she gets really childish and really immature and really stubborn. He said she was just sitting there staring at him. Now, you only sit there and stare at somebody when they say something extremely dumb. I feel like Ken don't come off like that. So Trisha, he need to be staring at you like that because you don't want to be irrational more than him. So he's talking really... He's talking too crazy about her on camera, at least for me. Like, you talking cash-ish, my boy. Like, this sounding like this, and then we still end up being together, and you had this conversation with your friend on TV for the world to see? So, anywho, get back to it. I ain't even gonna sit in that, because I was just like, he going in right now on TV. It's one thing to have those feelings and express it when you vent into your boy, but on TV, you could abbreviate that for the cameras. You would abbreviate that for the cameras. That's crazy. That's crazy. But I guess at that point he was ready to leave. So outside of being disrespectful, like calling out her name and stuff, I guess he didn't care. That man said he was looking at realtors. I said, realtors? So y'all bought this house together? Okay. So he's making it seem like he pays for everything. And I always think like, ain't she a whole engineer? Ain't she a whole she probably making more than you. What do you do? So it be confusing me when he acts like when he insinuates or alludes to him paying for everything. So he's always throwing it in her face what he do for her because he's doing it in this moment. He's just like, yeah, if I leave, it's stuff going with me. It's stuff going with me. I ain't gonna continue to be paying for everything if I'm not here. Are you paying for everything? Look, his name has to be on the house for him to be looking at realtors, because I was just like, did you tell her you was looking at realtors? Like, I guess that's the games they play. They be back and forth, real disrespectful, real slick with each other, to where it's like, I would have been had to break up. It couldn't be me. It couldn't be me. But like I said, he's always throwing it in her face what he do for her. He says that she needs therapy. She needs therapy, and if she don't go, he's going to walk. Okay, because he is tired of giving the husband treatment, and she ain't even really giving him boyfriend treatment for real. I said, she giving you her damn type of energy. When we see her on TV, the way it comes out, it's not you, Ken. She might not want your kind. Trisha just strikes me at 45. She is going to have a pixie cut, and she's going to have some motorcycle chick best friend named Lisa, who is going to be her friend. And they're going to live together, and they're going to be friends. That is just the energy that Trisha gives me. So, Ken, don't take it personal if she just doesn't seem that into you, doesn't seem that passionate. She is probably trying to figure out those emotions and how to express them. That's just my little tidbit. As someone who is a part of the Rainbow Coalition, there's just this energy, and Trisha wants to be too masculine placed in a relationship for the average man. And then she's with like a super duper like type of guy. His personality might not be that all the time, but he goes there. So it's not compatible when y'all both here. She needs a gentle soul. She needs a gentle soul that's going to calm her soul. So either a metrosexual type of man, a bi man, or a woman. That is what I see for Trish. Don't hurt me. Y'all, look, I always be shouting out my faves like they be watching. But I want to hear how Bondi Blue. Somebody get Bondi Blue over here for us to discuss it. Because that's what I see for Trish. Okay, she just needs to stop fighting the feeling. Okay, we see this cute little scene with Marcel. He's getting pedicures with Macy. It was so cute, and it just really showed Marcel as a person, opposed to seeing when the show first. I mean, as a father, opposed to seeing when the show first came on, and he know his son was allergic to peanut butter, or he was playing it up for the cameras that he know his son was allergic to peanut butter. But we can tell about just how kids talk to him, interact with him, and talk about him, that he is a good dad. And Macy, she's funny. She gives him hell. It's like that's your little twin right there. That's his little twin right there, as far as personality wise. So they're there. She's trying to make him get some type of pink polish on his toes. Of course he's not. They have a conversation about Tisha. She loves her mama. She's bigging up her mama. On the past episode, we saw what she said, mom's the favorite. Dad used to be the favorite. But I don't know what he been doing. He been slipping, so now mama's the favorite. And it's giving, I'm old enough to see the vlogs, so I know what you be up to, daddy. But she love her daddy. They're having a good time. He has her play Never Have I Ever with their little sodas, because he's trying to see if she done hugged and kissed the boy before. It was cute and wholesome. Nice to see. We see Trisha. Trisha goes out with her friend. What's the friend name? Is it Sharon? I think it's Sharon. I hope it's Sharon. And Destiny. She tells them that her and Ken are currently separated. I said, ooh. Destiny in the confessional, like, I hope I get the whole story, but we all know that Trisha don't really give the whole story like that, so we gonna see how this works. I said, basically. So she tells them that he always throws stuff in her face, and go as far as to asking for stuff back. So I guess this must be, they talking about the same argument, because she said, She says that they were arguing and he starts asking for stuff back. Oh, I'm taking everything back. I'm taking everything back. Xavier, upstairs, the son that's probably headed off to college at this point, or in college at this point, rather. He comes downstairs. Well, this is what they're telling us. We don't see this, of course. He comes downstairs while they're arguing because, of course, he can hear Ken. They're all in the same house. His car keys, because, you know, he threw in Marquez's face that he gave the son a car, not bought the son a car. The son came downstairs and threw them car keys on the table. Came downstairs like, nigga, fuck you, leave. It's not funny at all. It's so sad. I'm laughing because it's like, damn, he's so tired of y'all. He is so sick of y'all and this arguing. And it's truly sad because they think that they're not traumatizing the kids. They think that it's all Marquez. Oh, you traumatize the kids with the way you do this, the way you do this. Listen to how y'all argue. The son has to come break up physical fights between you and his daddy. He has to come calm y'all down. He has to come intervene in y'all fights, which I don't think y'all traumatizing the kids. And I'm sure if he got to come down there and regulate, Zaria probably somewhere scared, anxious, crying, wondering why y'all making so much noise. Why can't y'all just be quiet and be chill? So yes, y'all are absolutely traumatizing those children. She says that when Xavier is feeling a type of way, she starts feeling a type of way. I said period. They talk about how Trish and the kids don't really process things properly. They just push it down. Sharon is just like, yeah, I don't like that at all. You don't process your information, your information. She said, yes, I do, very loudly. And they both say, Sharon and Destiny, no. You yelling is not you expressing your feelings. That's you yelling. You have to sit down and be vulnerable. Be open. Be reasonable. Not you screaming and yelling and thinking that people are going to take that as you express. Like, no, girl. So Sharon says that Ken needs validation and Trish needs to show him that emotion. Sharon, was it Sharon? No, it was Destiny. Destiny was like, I don't like where he goes when he gets mad, but I know that he loves you. I know that he loves your children like they're his. I know that he treats y'all well, da da da. But he is very aggressive, and she admits, like, yeah, the level of his aggression with me being unhealed, it's not good for me. We'll break it off. Well, she in therapy. So we're going to see Dr. Francis next episode, y'all. That excited me. Dr. Francis be out here saving marriages and stuff. Okay. I hope y'all can hear that, but I'm sure y'all can hear that. My daughter's going nuts. Fun-wise, being happy. Destiny clocks her because Sharon asks Trish, do you want to be with him? You want to be with him? Y'all gonna be together? She's like, I mean, yeah. She said, girl, that wasn't convincing. And Destiny said she think that he ain't going nowhere. She don't think that he gonna go nowhere. And she was like, do you want to keep him? Sharon is double, triple, quadrupling down. I think he's a great man. I think it's worth fighting for. Destiny makes sure that Trisha knows that it's your decision to make, but I do believe it's worth fighting for. And this is a conversation you need to have with him. Y'all can talk to the kids and smooth that out later, but it's you and him in this relationship. So don't just base your feelings off of Xavier and how he was upset with Ken so she can never be with Ken again. It can be smoothed out if she matures. Lastly, we see Marceau and Martell have a sit down because Reese told them to. Because Reese said so. Big brother Reese said so. So I said, dang, Reese want to make sure these secrets stay tucked away. You hear me? Kimmy, you not peeping the motion, babe? Reese is over here working overtime, making sure that Martell does not run his mouth about him. Okay, keep that over there with that Marcel. He is putting in more work with Martell than he is with his own son. You over here begging this man to spend time with his son. He's like, no, I think I'm just going to run around the mulberry bush with Martell. You know, these conversations get nowhere, but I have to have them. I have to have them. How dreadful. So Marcel is over this meeting on arrival, okay? He's just like, I'm here so I don't get fined. That's the type of energy that Marcel is on. Martell is just like, listen, you just want to think about the bad time. We were great friends for so long, and we did this. We used to get limos together, get hoes together. Like, why you treating me like this now? We're such great butts. And Marcel was like, you were a great friend for 4 years. You've been trying to ruin my life for 7. I was like, sounds about right. Sounds about right. Because all that we've seen on this show is him trying to terrorize y'all life, because at the gate, Melody and him revealed that he had been cheating for years already. So he was trying to drag y'all down with him. So yeah, but of course, Marcel is kind of a lot of bit upping his victim narrative. Like, he ain't ever get slick back with Martell. It's like, yeah, Martell would say some crazy stuff, but you would reply with something equally jabby, okay? So, yeah. Martell said, you need to go home and pray and be delivered from all his lying. They are so goofy. Marcel says he doesn't even want an apology from Martell because Martell's just going to walk it back later. So what's the point? What's the point? And then they agree to just get along and get along. We ain't going to be friends. We ain't got to lie like we is. But we can be cool. We around each other, so, you know. Tell your fiance, stop talking about me. And you tell your wife to keep my name out of mouth. I said, fiance? When did y'all become the fiance? Are y'all playing us scenes out of order and we don't know that they got engaged? Lord, they gonna really bring this girl on the show if they for real be engaged. They've been soft launching us. I feel like he gotta say her name every stinking episode. I said, yep, Mel's gone. Because they're saying that girl's name every episode. But that's it, y'all. That's it for this episode. I heard that this is the mid-season finale. And I think it's going to be gone for like a month and some change. I said, you know what they're doing? I think they're getting out the way for Potomac. Because Potomac comes back in a couple of weeks. I'm going to be doing Real Housewives of Potomac and Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. The first episode for Salt Lake City, well, the first review will probably be 2 episodes because I don't think I'm going to really have time to do no notes by tomorrow and do another video this week. So, yeah, next week it'll probably be episodes 1 and 2 on that. And then I think a couple of weeks after that is Potomac. So I'll be reviewing that as well, y'all. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video, comment, and let me know what you guys think. Are you still watching Love and Marriage Huntsville? Have you given up on it, but you love me, so you're going to watch the review anyways? Drop down below and let your girl know. Until next time, bye.